Okay, I think we're live, potentially. We're gonna see. This is the first time that I've done a live stream before, so I'm not 100% sure if it's working. Yeah, check. Thank you. Oh. There we go. It is working.
Yes, it's working.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. This is the first time that I have done a live stream before. So, hi. I'm Cece, and you're here, and Janel is also here. Janelle hasn't done a live show before ever, so just so you know, this is a little bit delayed. I think it's like a minute or so delayed. So today we're going to be talking about the Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. I assume you all know based on this title. So I'm not exactly sure where we wanted to start. Maybe just start talking about some of our favorite moments, and then if you guys want to ask questions to us about the Raven Cycle, stuff you want to hear us talk about, then go for it. We have the chat running so we can see all of the stuff that you're saying, and we'll keep an eye on that as we're talking about it. So I guess we should start also by talking about our experience with the Raven Cycle.
Sure.
Do you want me to start?
No, I should start.
You should start.
Since I read it first. Well, you actually.
I did, actually.
So you start.
Okay. So about 2 years ago, I read the first book in the Raven Cycle, which is The Raven Boys. I read it for Booktubeathon, and I was kind of mellow about it, and so I never continued on with the series. And then 2 years passed.
And then, I don't know why, but I guess, I don't know if people were just reading it randomly, or it kept coming up, and I was like, oh, I mean, that sounds kind of interesting, but Cece didn't like it, and really had, like, not great things to say about it. And then, but then she was like, oh, well, maybe you will like it because it kind of has Marauders, like from Harry Potter vibes. And I love the Marauders, so I wanted to pick it up. So I went and I got the first book, and I read it when I was on vacation, actually, when I was coming home. So on the airplane, I read a bunch of it, and then that night I read a bunch of it, and I read the whole thing in one day. And I loved it. And I didn't love it. Like, I was like, I feel like I could love this. Like, I could love this series. So then I went and got the second one, and I read that in a day. And then I went and got the third and fourth one, and I read both of those. I took one day for each of them. I just stayed up, like, all night reading them. And then I waited, like, 2 weeks, and then I read the whole series again.
Someone, by the way, just asked in the chat if there are going to be spoilers. Right now, when we're talking about our experience with the series, no, there aren't going to be spoilers, but once we start talking about our favorite moments, we're going to be talking about the entire series in full. Spoilers abound. We'll also be talking about some of the stuff. I assume that Maggie's been posting on Twitter about the short story in The Raven King and the upcoming Ronan trilogy. So if you don't want spoilers after we're done talking about our experience, probably time to flee and go read the whole series and then come back and watch this. So after Janelle read the entire series in a week and then reread them a couple of weeks later, we met up in June and we had a vacation together in New York City.
Yes.
And at that point, the books changed hands and I got them, which is why they're now behind me on my shelves. These are actually all Janelle's copies. And then I read the series over a couple of months. It took me a while, but as soon as I reread the first book, I knew that, like, my medium feelings about the series had been totally wrong.
And I was like, they better change.
And so I read the series, and then I waited a month, and in October, I reread all 4 books in about 2 weeks. Yeah. So we got in very deep, very fast. It's all been this year, but I would argue for both of us, it's become a second favorite series of all time.
To Harry Potter.
Harry Potter and then this.
And this is also, like, kind of, it's really cool because, like, it's not like we agree on books
No, that's the
in a
thing.
lot of ways.
We do disagree a lot on books. We read very different books.
Yeah.
And the times that we read the same books, we tend to have like
differing opinions.
Differing opinions. Sometimes I'm more passionate. It depends.
Yeah.
So it's really weird that our interests crossed over this intensely for this series, which is what has led to a full live show dedicated to it.
Also, after I read the books, I was lucky enough that I was like, oh, I wonder if like I could get Maggie Stiefvater to sign or go to a signing, especially since, you know, October is
when all the Crooked Saints, her new book came
and
out.
also the event, not in October, the book event that everyone likes in New York.
In October?
Or no, it's not in October, it's in summer.
It's in May.
What is it?
BookCon.
BookCon. And I was like, oh well, maybe they'll still be around because of that. And I got lucky, and there was an event in Ocean City, New Jersey, at a library in Ocean City, New Jersey, which was over 2 hours from my house. But I drove myself impromptu road trip to the beach, and I got my book signed. It was really cool. Yeah, she has the Dream Thieves signed and the Raven King signed. Which I think is actually a segue into, I think we should talk about which ones are our favorite books in the series. Do you want me to go first this time? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so my favorite book in the series is easily, far and away, Blue Lily, Lily Blue. It was the moment when I was reading the books for the first time where I felt so deeply emotionally connected that I could not imagine this book not staying with me forever. And I think that Blue Lily, Lily Blue is my favorite because I think it has some of the best side characters. It has characters like Mallory and Jesse Ditley. He's in there. That's also the book with Colin and Piper Greenmantle, who are amazing villains. And it's the first time that I read the series where I cried. When I reread the series, I cried a bunch. But the first time that I read the series, I'd been totally chill until the moment in Blue Lily, Lily Blue when Ronan and Gansey run to court for Adam. And, like, I get super emotional about it.
Yeah.
Like, sobbing emotional about it. I have to remove my glasses and take a minute. So that's my favorite book in the series because of all of those reasons.
My favorite, but I will preface this as like time has gone on between me actually reading the books, like since I read them, I'm like, how could I have a favorite? They're all amazing. What, you can't choose a best out of perfection. But when I read them originally, I said my favorite was The Dream Thieves because I really like Ronan's my favorite character, and I really like that's like his book, and like that's. In it, he goes through like his journey and like his big transformation. Yeah. And I don't know, I'm just a big fan of The Dream Thieves.
It definitely belongs to Ronan, that book. So it makes sense that that's your favorite book in the series.
And then I think we agree both of our least favorites, which least favorite is used loosely here.
Yeah, real loosely. We both gave all 4 books 5 stars.
And the least favorite would just be The Raven Cycle, just because it's the first book.
The Raven Boys.
Raven Boys.
The Raven Boys. The Raven Boys is our least favorite, just because, I mean, it's an introduction, and I just think that the value of the books is the character development, and that's going to be much harder to get in a first book than it is on the other books. Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to keep an eye on this chat situation.
I agree. Whoever said, like, when I reread the books, the series, and I literally can't choose, I sort of feel like that could be the situation. Like, if I reread it again, which I will probably next year, I'll be like, I can't. No, they're all great. I love them. Can't choose.
Let's see. Ronan's also my favorite character. Oh, since you said your favorite character, I should say my favorite character is Gansey. He is my love.
Oh my god, she's so whipped by Gansey.
I am, like, not even gonna pretend that that's untrue.
If we go anywhere and there's, like, something with a B on it, she's like, it's Gansey.
Well, when I watched that episode of Black Mirror with the electronic bees, I spent the entire episode being like, not even electronic bees are safe. I'm constantly worried for him.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, okay. Still looking at what are some of your guys' favorite characters? I want to hear because I see someone said, "Oh, Ronan's my favorite character, but also Henry is amazing."
Henry is amazing.
Henry is amazing.
You know, we could do who's your favorite side character?
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see. Did you read the I Heart Razzle Dazzle?
Yes.
Yes. I think she agrees with that. Okay. Her favorite side character?
Mine's easy. I know mine. My favorite side character is Mr. Gray because
right.
I don't know, hitman with a heart of gold, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But he's like, I don't know, he's just so cool.
He is cool. He fits into that world in a really great way.
And I like that, like, he's still important and useful in books 3 and 4. It's not just like in book 2 he was there and he did a story and then he's just kind of in the background. I like that everyone who's introduced, like, even if they're introduced like as a side character, like, they are continually important.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like the ladies of like 300 Foxway get less important or they just like drop out of the picture.
No, I definitely appreciate that too. It feels like there are so many things where in other series I've read, those moments would have been forgotten later on, and everything is really important and maintains its importance throughout the series. And I mean, Mr. Gray's relationship with Blue as it evolves over those 3 books is one of my favorite relationships of the book.
Yeah.
I think that it's wonderful. My favorite, someone just said, what about Jesse Ditley? He's one of my favorite side characters, but I think my personal favorite side character is Mallory.
Ah, yes.
Probably connected to my love of Lily Blue, but I just love so much with Mallory, and I don't know, he's this weird old professor who's just excited to hang out with these youngins and learn about ley lines, but he has like trauma and an anxiety dog that comforts him when he needs to be comforted. And I love him. And he's also really funny. I love the scene in Blue Lily, Lily Blue where Gansey offers to make him tea, and he's like, I love you, Gansey, but you can't make tea for love or for money.
Well, if you really like Jesse Ditley, then the scene where Mallory's like, oh, do you have any
tea? And he starts listing the different types of tea he has. Yeah, solid moment. Do you have a favorite lady of 300 Foxway?
No, I really honestly like all of them equally. I love the like trio of, I'm gonna butcher this, Calla, Persephone, that's how you say it, Persephone, and Mara. The 3 of them just I love. And I love I forget what book it is, but when you get sort of the story of how they all met on the highway.
I love that chapter.
It's such a great origin story.
I always forget about that chapter. And
what book is that?
What book is that?
Is that Raven King?
No, I think it's
Blue Lily Blue.
It's Blue Lily Lily Blue because that one's kind of Persephone and Adam's storyline. So I think it makes sense. No, you're right. I love the trio of them, like, as a group. And I think that's why, segueing into some of our favorite scenes, why one of your favorite scenes is...
Oh, are we starting from just random favorite scenes?
It's a good, like, segue.
Okay, all right. So, one of my favorite scenes, like, I don't know, I think about this scene so much, is in the beginning of The Raven King, when they all sit down, and all the ladies are, like, doing the ladies and her dad is there, isn't he?
Oh, he's kind of like lurking in the background.
Yeah, well, whatever. But they're doing the big tarot card reading, and it just sort of descends into them all like laughing and talking, even though there's like a big foreboding feeling in the air. But I love that scene. The atmosphere of that scene just blows me away.
Yeah. Well, when they're all kind of drinking and they're all on top of each other and just, it feels very authentic and like these women are so ingrained in their separate lives. Because I love 300 Foxway because it feels like it's this group of women who are so connected and have all of these relationships with each other. love it.
All right, what's your favorite scenes?
Should we start like book by book?
Whatever, just as you think of them, they're just gonna pop into my head.
They're just gonna pop into my head. Okay, so I've already talked about the court scene.
Oh yes,
which is my all-time favorite scene.
Which I also really like, but it really just
I don't know what it is.
Gets her.
And it's like I thought the second time I read it I was going to be chill, and then it hits that line where Adam realizes that they ran for him.
Mm-hmm.
I lose it every time. And then when they shake hands because they're men, I can't. Okay. So obviously I have feelings about the court scene. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm reading the chat now. I want to see what some of your favorite stuff.
One of my favorite scenes.
Yeah.
This is from the first book. I love the scene at the end when they're in Cabe's water and like Noah, but Noah's not actually there, like Ghost Noah is writing on the car like murdered, and then Ronan like wrote remembered. Oh, the scene just touches me.
It gets you.
Just gets me.
It gets you.
Yeah.
Well, I love Noah and Ronan's relationship, and that's a really good one. Tasha, hi Tasha. I was really hoping that you would be here. Said that she loves the scene when Adam realizes Ronan was paying for things for him. Yeah, I like that one too. Because it's like a good moment for them, but it's also a good moment for seeing how much Adam has grown as a character at that moment, because he's like upset, but he's also kind of upset with himself for being blinded and not realizing.
I just saw someone say this one. The scene in the first book when Gansey's like, where's Ronan? Where's Ronan?
Oh, yeah,
Did he do something to himself? And then when he finds him, he's like drunk in a church with a bird.
Yes, that is.
Which I mean, who hasn't ended up drunk in a church with a baby bird?
I mean, it's just got to be a universal experience.
It is a universal experience.
Let's see. Someone said we didn't even see the one where they were dragging each other around on. Was it carts
on like lorries,
something like that, and and Ronan and Adam were all covered in scabs. That's I love the one that we get that's like off screen, where they're talking about picking off their scabs later. They're so gross.
That's gross.
Such gross men.
Gross. Like teenage boys.
Yeah, but then I also love the one that you get later when Ronan's like haltingly flirting with Adam and is like, how do you flirt with boy? Put him in cart and tip over, and so you're entangled, but like in a chill bro way, if need be.
So and also that's because that's the third book after they find Gwenllian.
I don't know how we pronounce that.
Gwenllian, Gwen Elion. I don't know. But, that when they're in the store and Ronan just keeps making like the same joke over and over again.
Yes, Emma. Ronan is such a loser, and I love him. Relatable feelings. Gwenllian? Ooh, interesting.
Not up on my Welsh.
No, that's such a good scene, because Ronan's just being like a dumbass, and Adam's being very attentive and like, you keep making the same joke, I'm gonna need you to
and then when
up it.
They see Piper there, and Adam's like, oh, I didn't think she was your type or something.
Good scene. Solid scene. Let's see. Oh my god. Thank you for two bros chilling in a shopping cart 5 feet apart because they're not gay. You get me. Oh my god. Okay. Other scenes. Another favorite of mine is the first car scene with Gansey and Blue.
Yeah.
Like, all of their secret date scenes are really, really good. But that first one,
let's just pretend we could.
Just for a moment. It's so dramatic, but it works. And they're, like, lightly touching of fingers in that book. I don't know. The entirety of their relationship in Dream Thieves when it's all like, we can't, but we can.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Also in the Dream Thieves is the scene where Noah and Blue go to Monmouth.
Monmouth. That's how I say it.
And
that's a favorite.
That scene where they're like running around and like having hijinks.
And then they kiss. And it's really nice.
Really awkward, but really nice.
And Blue has that moment where she's like, oh, so this is what I can't have.
Yeah.
And Noah says that he would ask her out if she was alive, and she'd say yes. It's a lot. Yes, person who said Gansey in his random facts, I was literally about to bring that up, because my boy waits until the middle of the night for his crush to call and then says duck facts.
Oh, God. This is why she likes Gansey so much.
Every phone call is golden.
Yeah.
Well, those because they're, like, silly.
Mm-hmm.
But also the ones where, I think it's in the Dream Thieves, when he calls her and he's freaking out and he goes, just tell me what's happening with you, and she totally gets that.
Yeah.
Like, I love that moment, too.
What else do I like in the Dream Thieves? Because obviously I said it's my favorite. So
yeah, you should talk about that.
I mean, I do love all the stuff in the Dream Thieves with Kavinsky. Is that how we're going for that one?
Yeah,
Kavinsky. I don't know, just like him like popping up at random moments, and whenever Ronan sees him, he's like, we gotta race now. I will crush you with my speed.
What is the thing he calls him? Because that line, like, I remember it sometimes and just laugh about it, where he's like, something, he calls him, like, Jersey Bulgarian mobster piece of shit.
Yeah.
Such a good line.
I don't know, and then just, like, all that weird, like, is it real, is it not real, like, when they're in like his parent, like Kavinsky's home theater, like tripping
basically.
And then when they go and they're laying on the car and dreaming and dreaming and dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what a book.
Solid book. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like we've been talking around this a little bit. We should probably. I think we haven't talked about our favorite Adam Ronan scenes as much.
Oh, I could talk about those for like 3 hours.
Yeah, we already have, but we'll bring it up again now for you. Go ahead. You seemed like you were going.
I mean, like, the entirety of the Raven King. Like, can I say that?
Legit, the entirety of the Raven King.
I also, like, this is like an early moment. I think it would be in the Raven Boys when Gansey's like, or whichever one it's in, and Gansey's like, how could Ronan get himself kicked out of school? And Adam's like, you have to let him make his own mistakes. Stop trying to be his dad.
Mm-hmm. I like that one.
Yeah. Oh, someone just said the hand cream. Ooh.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Yes.
When Ronan shows up, scares the shit out of him and leaves.
And then later on, Adam's like, oh, a very delicate, thoughtful present.
Yeah.
And Ronan's like, I'm too cool to give you presents in person. I gotta scare you and then ghost.
And, like, insult him.
Yeah. He shows up, insults him, leaves, and then they find gifts.
Yeah.
One of my favorite, there are a couple of moments for Adam and Ronan where they reflect thoughts about each other over different books.
Mm-hmm.
So my two favorites, I think, that are the most iconic, are the worship and God lines, which are so good. In Blue Lily Lily Blue, it's Adam saying maybe there was more than one God in this church, which is so dramatic.
What? Who says that?
Who says that? And then it's still like, do I feel these things for Ronan? Boy, buddy, friend, pal.
I often casually think of my friends as gods.
Oh god. And then in The Raven King, when Ronan is talking about the fact that Adam lives in St. Agnes, which conveniently
puts all the objects of his worship in like a 1 block radius or something.
At least Ronan knows.
He can match the drama. Peak drama.
They're made for each other. Let's see.
What else? What other scenes are I like with them? I mean, obviously, like...
the kisses.
Yeah, and, like, the kisses. When he takes him to the barns in Blue Lily Blue, and he's, like, showing him, like, the softer side of him, I guess, and, like, all his dream objects. And then they're, like, petting the cow.
And Adam spends that whole scene being like, Ronan's so soft.
Well, and he's like, Ronan is so in love with me.
That's true. I think that's the first time that you kind of know.
Yeah,
that Adam knows.
Yeah.
Like, even if you've been guessing at it, that's the first time where he's like, I can't believe he chose to have a crush on me, of all people. And you're like, buddy.
And then I think this is after they kiss, like, the morning after, when Adam's, like, goes out and he finds him, and he's like, Ronan stared at me as he had been for months, and I stared back as I had been for months.
Yes. Well, that whole scene is great because it's like, it's so soft. That one's like fanfic.
Yeah,
that's the closest I think that the series comes to being very fanfiction-y, is when Adam wakes up the next morning and he's like, he borrows a coat. And he wanders around the barns, and he sees Opal, and he's like, I've never felt this happy before in my entire life. That's such a soft scene.
That is such a soft scene.
When I was, well, I took notes the first time I read the series, and then the second time I took more extensive notes because I knew what I was looking for. And I was writing down some of my favorite quotes, and I remember the moment when I realized, well, you gonna pull out a quote?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember the moment when I realized that I needed to chill was the second kissing scene between Adam and Ronan, when Adam goes up to him on the porch and Ronan just goes, Adam? And then they kiss. And then they kiss for like, I don't know, years or something, and the world doesn't matter anymore, and there's touching of tattoos. I had like written half of that chapter down as a favorite quote before I went, I need to chill. I need to chill a little bit.
There's no chill. I can't look through these. I'll just start like reading them.
What are you trying to remember?
I don't know. I was just looking.
Okay. Oh no. Tasha, I was in public for both of the kisses and it was the worst. Relatable. Okay, the first time I read the series, I was on vacation with my mom and my sister, and I knew it was about to happen. Because I think I had texted you, and I'd said, this is the scene where I'm on. And you were like, you said something that made me go, oh, this is it.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. And they were being loud and obnoxious in this hotel room, and I remember being like, if you two are being obnoxious when my two people kiss, I'm never going to forgive you. And I took the book into the bathroom and I sat down in the bathtub so I was away from them so I could read it. So
that's how dramatic Cece is. You're a drama queen.
Would you have wanted to read either of those scenes?
No, I read all my scenes like at night at like 2 a.m. So
I was reading The Raven King and I didn't want to put it down. It was my only chance.
I also didn't want to put it down. That's why I just read till 2 a.m. But God, I don't know. I love them.
You love the scene also where Ronan shows up and Adam's looking into the headlights.
Oh God, I love that scene. That's in The Raven King.
That's in The Raven King.
And when he's like Ronan's driving there and he's like, oh, I'm gonna go see Adam. And then like he gets there and Adam's just sitting in the parking lot staring directly into the headlights of his shitty ass car. Oh, that scene just gets me. And that's the scene where they like touch hands.
They touch hands for like 2 seconds.
And they're both like, we knew we didn't have to touch hands for that long.
They both in their individual narration have at least a paragraph of being like, oh my God, we touched hands.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything, but it means everything.
Yeah. Really though.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe we haven't talked about this scene yet. I love in the Dream Thieves when they go out on the boat with Orla. And like the entire scene is Gansey and Adam being like, worried and not knowing how to handle it. Blue being exasperated and Ronan being super gay.
Yeah.
Like, that's that scene.
They were all, like, on peak, like, dramaticness on that boat.
Mm-hmm.
They left land and were like, we're leaving all of our, we're leaving all our cool behind. Our chill's all on land.
They were so dramatic on that boat.
Oh my god, they were so dramatic on that boat.
As a small scene that I love so much, I love in The Dream Thieves when Gansey is talking to Mallory about pigeons, and he just keeps pushing it because he wants to see Adam laugh. And, like, it works, his pushing about the pigeons, and Adam's, like, convulsing in laughter. When does that boy get to laugh that hard ever again?
Like, never. Someone said Gansey's boat shoes, though.
His boat shoes. And the fact that they are, like, his reason for living a little bit. They're the only thing keeping him on steady ground. The boat shoes. I think they're a direct tie into his sanity.
And then Blue, the person who wears, like...
It's Robert.
Hi,
Robert! Robert is our in real life friend.
When Blue is, like, insulting the boat shoes, and it's like, Blue, you wear, like, lampshades and curtains.
She wears clothes that look like lampshades.
Oh, I'm sorry. And, like, random cut-up clothing, and you're like, oh no, those boat shoes, they're too much.
Yeah. Well, they're too much, but also it also makes me think of the scene where they're going to bury a body, and Gansey's, like, apologizing for not looking his best. Like, he's wearing jeans and a t-shirt and apologizing to Blue and Ronan, of all people, about looking slovenly. And they're like, why would we care? But at the same time, both having meltdowns because he looks great, but he doesn't dress like an enormous asshole.
You know, it's just one of those few books where all the characters are super in love with each other, like,
they are.
Canonically.
Like, yeah. Because, like, the most dramatic thing I think anyone has said in the entire series, as far as feelings for another person, we personally agree, is when Gansey leaves Ronan for, like,
oh my god,
2 days. He's gonna be gone for a weekend, and he goes, dream me the world, something new for every night. Like, 2 days they're gonna be apart.
2 days, and they can't take it. Dream me the world.
That's so
bats his
dramatic.
Eyes. And Ronan's like, I better get dreaming.
Let's see. Oh, let's see. Yeah, the ending, Noah's ending is really... Noah's ending makes me emotional.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's so great, and he gets to repeat that line for the 3rd time, that don't throw it away.
Character makes me, like, sad. I mean, it's the point, but...
He's a ghost.
He is a ghost, so...
He's dead.
Yeah.
So.
I like when they're at the dollar store, and they, like, drop the snow globe.
Yes! Because Noah's there, like, obsessing about how it's glittery.
Yeah.
I love the dollar store scene in general. Anytime when they just, like, go shopping.
They just go random places.
No, there is no chill. From us or from characters. I agree. Whichever that was about, I'm with you and I agree.
Oh, that is an interesting point. Like, when the gray man calls Adam the main character, and
Lily Blue.
And Mara's like, it's Gansey's the main character.
And then the gray man is basically like, interesting perspective.
Yeah.
Like, I see where you're coming from, but I disagree.
Yeah.
We've talked a little bit about the fact that
like who's the main character.
And I think we personally feel like there are 4. Or do you disagree with
me? No, that when it comes down to it, Blue, Gansey, Ronan, and Adam are the main characters.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you could make arguments that, like, Gansey's the most main character because it's all, like, you know.
But he never gets his own book the way Ronan gets his own book, which is where I have a problem with that argument.
Adam has, I think, probably the most point of views of anyone. But then Blue is your introduction to the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then like so much happens because of Adam.
Yeah.
I was reading like analysis of this once that most of the main things that happen are because of decisions that Adam had made.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
I think all 4 of them are there.
I think they are too.
With like Noah and Henry as like the next level characters.
Yeah, like they're central to the group.
Yeah.
But they aren't main characters the way that the other 4 are.
Yeah.
I mean, point of view chapters alone.
Yeah.
That kind of knocks them out of the running.
Henry has point of view chapters.
He does. Well, doesn't Noah have a couple? Does Noah not have any point of view chapters? I mean, just that one at the end of the Raven King.
Yeah, I don't think he does.
Well, not to say anything against Noah or Henry, because I love them both very dearly. I adore Henry. Like, I was worried I wasn't, because a lot of people, when they read the books originally, I remember people saying that they didn't like Henry or they felt like his inclusion was weird. And I just never agreed with that. I was in it to win it.
I also don't agree that all the people are like, the 4th book is not like the other books. Like, they're just like the other books.
Yeah.
Like, what?
They are. Like, I think more happens in the Raven King, but...
but I mean, the character, I think the Raven King, I mean, one of the complaints I saw about the Raven King was that it didn't have enough character moments in it.
Oh,
but
man.
like, the Raven King is nothing but character moments.
Especially, yeah, no.
I don't know.
It is. Okay. I love the Raven King for character moments. Like, someone did just mention, by the way, one of my favorite lines from the Raven King, which was the choice was between hurting Adam or dying, which wasn't much of a choice at all.
Whew!
And the end of that scene, when Adam is all tied up, and he's like leaning against Ronan, and Ronan's holding him up, and then he whispers in Latin, like, we'll think fondly back on this one day.
What a shit.
I love him. I love them both.
I can't.
But yeah, character moments. Because I think the introduction of Henry is done so well in the Raven King.
Someone just said about the moment in the Raven Boys when Gansey and Adam have their like gigantic fight, and then Adam has like a breakdown.
Yeah. Wait, which one?
When he takes him to the hospital.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah. Do I have anything to add about that other than just that it makes me emotional?
I think the series wouldn't be believable if Adam didn't have like a breakdown.
Yeah.
And then continue to have a breakdown like the entirety of the Dream Thieves.
Yeah. He spends the entirety of that book being like, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? And then does like the best thing, not the best thing he ever does, but one of my favorite moments with him is when he sleeps for 23 hours, wakes up, and then he chugs 4 cups of pomegranate juice and 3 cups of tea, I think, in 10 minutes, and then leaves.
Yeah.
I love it. The drama. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Of course, when Ronan intervenes and punches the ever-living shit out of Robert Parrish. Always a good moment. I think of that fondly. And for sure when Gansey dies. Oh my god.
Oh, and Ronan is like, no.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Let's see. The scene with Adam and Blue in his apartment.
Ooh, that's sad.
That is a sad scene. It's a good one.
Yeah, it is a good one.
Like, you know what? You people could start suggesting any scene, and you'd be hard-pressed to find one that doesn't make one of us go, oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good scene.
We'll just recite the entire book.
You know what? This is going to be a really long live stream. I'm just going to grab this. We're going to start reading it aloud. Let's see. What other stuff?
Do you want to talk about, like, the future?
Yeah, we could talk about the future.
The future's scary, guys.
The future's a scary, scary place.
Future's scary, books. There's stuff on the horizon.
We could talk about I think, the thing with the least potential to fail first.
The story?
The short story.
I'm so excited. February 28th can't come fast enough.
Yeah, I think we officially found out the release date last night. I don't know if it had been out in the world before then, but last night, Maggie tweeted if you pre-order the paperback of The Raven King from Fountain Bookstore, I think.
Yeah.
It comes with an exclusive Opal tarot card, I assume to go with the other Raven Cycle tarot cards.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes with an 11,000 word short story.
Mm-hmm.
So she posted the first page of the short story last night.
That short story is going to be the most exciting thing that happens to me in February.
Yeah. And, like, we have big emotional stakes in February.
It's not as important.
Like, our anniversary is in February.
No, not important.
I don't give a shit.
No.
We just shouldn't celebrate it, and we can push off the celebration until the Raven King comes out.
We can just buy each other copies of the Raven King in paperback and hand them to each other.
Well, last night, when she posted the first page, Janelle took my phone from me and she was reading it, and I was like, read faster. And then she just read it aloud to me while I had a meltdown.
Yeah.
Like, I was honestly doing breathing exercises.
I thought it was going to be about, like, from the hints from before that it was going to be, like, Opal-centric.
Yeah.
But now we, like, know for sure it's Opal-centric.
Yeah, it's called Opal.
Yes.
The short story.
Yes, I'm very excited. It's long, too.
It's 11,000 words.
I don't know how many pages that is, but it seems long.
I mean, 11,000 words, just thinking, like, fan fiction-wise, that's a decent amount.
That for a short story, I feel like that's a decent amount.
Yeah, I read fics way shorter than that of these two. So to give me 11,000 words, but it's canon.
I'm so excited.
we were also having fun reading it and like comparing it a little bit to fan fiction. The stuff that people have written as compared to what the short story is going to be, and the rules of Opal and how she fits into their lives.
Yeah. Well, because no one was quite sure, like, is Opal, like, a human? Like, does she act like a child? Does she act like a mystical
dream
goat dream thing? Like, which is she?
Yeah. And I liked that even with that first page, we already get so many rules. I haven't been on Tumblr yet. Presumably, they're in collapse.
Yeah. But February can't come fast enough, and I would never say that because I fucking hate February.
It is the worst.
It's a shitty month. But
it's a terrible month.
I'm so excited for this short story.
It is going to make February worth it. All right.
Should we talk about the Dreamer trilogy?
We should talk about the trilogy first. I'm still not ready to talk about the show.
All right.
So the Dreamer trilogy is going to be a Ronan-centric trilogy of books.
Yes. And you know what? A lot of times when authors announce books after the series has been released already, and they've been like, there aren't going to be any more books, but then they announce more books, I'm like, oh, stupid. Going to be a cop-out. I'm really excited for these. I think they're going to be great.
Yeah. I think they're going to be good.
You can't get too excited.
No.
You don't want to jinx it.
Exactly. But I feel like I have more hope for the Dreamer trilogy because I think it's going to be a lot like the Dream Thieves.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't have problems with the Dream Thieves. It's a great book.
All I want is a release date so, like, I can start to prepare myself so I don't combust.
Yeah. So let me tell you our routine for when we learn new things about the Ronan trilogy. Usually, usually I find out first on Twitter. I screenshot whatever the tweet is and I send it to Janelle, and then we're both just like incoherent for about 10 minutes. And then we pretend that we've each moved on, but I don't personally move on.
I haven't moved on.
Okay. But that's generally how we do learning new news about the Ronan trilogy.
Yeah.
Or the Dreamer trilogy.
So when I have a release date, it's just gonna be incoherent for like, I don't know,
months.
Yeah.
I
really needed to be 2018 though, because I cannot wait another full year. Like, well, not that I waited a full year, but I can't wait any longer.
No. I can't do another full year.
My hope is maybe for at the end of the, like, when we get the Raven King paperback in the back, it's going to be like, and look out for later this year when.
Mm-hmm. That would be a good way to release it.
Yeah.
But just, like, based on how books are written and published, I feel like 2018. I don't want to put too much of a stake in it, but...
If not 2018, it has to be early 2019.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think that they might also maybe to cross it over with the TV show.
I don't know if we want to talk about that.
I think we need to talk about it.
So there's going to be a TV show, maybe.
Yeah.
On Sci-Fi, maybe. If it actually gets, like, made as a pilot, and then if the pilot gets picked up. And every part of the process scares me deeply.
Yeah. Like, we've been stressed about this for a lot of months.
Yeah.
It's a regular topic of conversation for us. You'd think we covered everything. We haven't learned anything new.
No.
But every few days, we're like, oh man, you know what I'm worried about? The TV show.
If I'm giving it, like, a percentage, the chances of it being good are, like, 2% maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think we need a miracle. I think we need a miracle for it to be good. Because there are so many places it could go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Casting, writing.
I can't.
CGI.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways this could go terribly.
Basic tone.
But,
like, I think what I dread most is casting, because I think that's the most concrete prior information we can get without a show.
And I just feel, I don't know how I want to play these characters. I don't think I want anyone. You know, I think I don't want anyone. That's it.
I think that's the problem. Every time I see a fan cast of any given character, I'm like, no.
No, thank you.
Disagree. Like, even if it's a dream world wherein any model that you find on the internet and you're like, this is the person, and we could pretend that they could act and be that part, I've still never liked any of those either.
I seriously have no fan cast because I can't think of anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I agree Sci-Fi is, I mean, if they announce, oh, it's gonna be on the CW, we might,
like, Freeform.
Yeah, we should have just given up.
I would have given up immediately if it had been announced on either of those networks, but I don't watch a lot of Sci-Fi, but as a viewer of The Magicians, that's like my one string of hope.
But they give money to some of their shows and no money to some of the others, and it's a show that would need CGI because it would need caves water, like, unless they are willing to film it in somewhere that has a great forest.
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
I'm very
deeply afraid.
I clutch on to The Magicians each and every day of my life as, like, a life preserver.
But, like, I don't know who's going to, like, what's going to be their audience for this, like?
Well, because the other thing to consider is the fact that it's being produced by Catherine Hardwicke, who was the producer for Twilight.
Yeah, but that doesn't really mean that much.
That doesn't mean, like, anything necessarily bad for me. I just think that it's a show of who their audience is going to be.
True. Because that's almost a good thing, because, like, whatever you feel about the Twilight movies, I would say that they nailed Forks very well. And they actually, like, filmed it to make it kind of, like, atmospherically Forks-ish.
Yeah.
If someone could do that for, like, Henrietta and Caves Water, that'd be great. Like, legitimately, if they were like, we're going to film it in Virginia, I'd be like, well, that's a good idea. Or, you know, even, like, British Columbia.
But if you're
like, we're going to film it all on a soundstage, we're screwed.
Oh, yeah, where everything's just green screened the way it is on Once Upon a Time. I couldn't do it.
No.
I wouldn't be able to handle it. Because that was always like my biggest problem visually with Once Upon a Time.
But, like, I also don't want to, like, get my hopes, like, get too fired up over all this, because, like, the chances of it actually happening are still slim.
That's true.
Because, like, so many TV shows are announced and, like, book adaptions. And I know it got a network, and it got, like, some of the producers.
It got people attached to it.
But no actors.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, no actors. It's when we start hearing the word series order thrown around, it's time to panic.
That's when it can truly begin.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things as I've been like getting deeply into the fandom of the Raven Cycle on Tumblr is I stalk everybody's Raven Cycle blogs obsessively so I can find all of the best stuff and the oldest stuff. Some point I'll go through them all. And my favorite moment every single time is when you scroll back far enough to reach the day that the Raven Cycle TV series was announced, and every single person is like, maybe.
If they could make a good adaptation, I would love it.
I'd love it.
Just because what would make the show, what would make the series a possible show is that it is atmospheric and it has so many moments that I'm like, oh, I'd love to see that on screen.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And settings that I want to see on screen. I want to see Monmouth and I want to see 300 Fox Way. I want to see Henrietta in general and Cabe's Water. It's a very visual series.
I do not want to see it get turned into another, I don't even know what to compare it to, a shitty TV show adaptation of a book.
I don't know. I'm real worried.
I'm real worried.
It could be good. It would also, I don't know. It could be good. But it could also be terrible. And I stress about it on a day-to-day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just constantly. I'm not sure. At this point, maybe I should say, do you guys have any questions for stuff that you want us to talk about? Because we could talk about more stuff. I don't know.
Now you got me all worked up and scared.
I'm sorry. We can derail back into the books.
Stupid show.
It's safer in the books.
It is safer in the books.
I agree. If a first episode happened, I would watch the first episode and then I would make my decision based on that.
Cry.
Cry, probably. Regardless. If it's good, I'll cry. If it's bad, I'll cry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be upset no matter what. Ooh, what took me so long to finish them? Ooh. Okay. So what took me so long to finish them? I don't know what it was about the first book that made me less sure about it. But I do know that, like, the minute I started it the second time, I was immediately sure that past me had been wrong. It took one chapter for me to be like, what was I talking about?
I mean, I'm remembering you talk when you read it the first time, and you were just like, oh, it was just like another YA.
And I don't know why I would have thought that.
And you were like, oh, I don't like I don't like how the girls treated Blue. I don't like how Blue is.
I remember when I was talking to you about whether or not you should read it, I was like, I don't know if you would like it because it centralizes a bunch of male characters.
Like teenage boys.
Teenage boys, when there's this house full of women that are magical women that I assumed you would be more interested in. I remember me telling you that.
Yeah, no, that is exactly what you said.
And I don't, like, I guess maybe I could see that having been a problem in the past, but, like, rereading them.
Good thing I was like, screw you, Cece, in your opinion. I'm going to do what I want.
True. True.
Now we're here.
Because when I reread that first book, I was immediately like, why didn't I care deeply about these characters?
I have no idea.
They endeared themselves to me so quickly.
We did read it, like, we both got to read it a little bit after the hype had died down, like, after the fourth book had been published. When you read it the first time, it was still in hype central. I don't even know, would the fourth book have been out?
No, it wasn't out yet.
So, we were in hype central.
It wasn't hype central. Maybe I needed the distance from it.
The distance.
That's true. Let's see. What do we think about Blue and Adam's relationship?
I mean, I'm not like they were the best couple ever. I think they make good friends.
They were sweet.
Yeah, I guess once past, after they, like, officially, or she's like, no, I don't want to kiss you because I don't like you, like that. I feel like we don't get a ton of the two of them
No.
interacting.
No, until you hit the Raven King, I think, and Adam kind of confronts her directly and is like, when are you going to stop lying to me about Gansey? Do you really think I'm that fragile?
Yeah.
And she's like, to be fair, a few months ago,
you were.
Yes. I really like their friendship. I would have liked more of it. I would like more of it in the future if Star Changzi is part of the Ronan trilogy, if Blue, Gansey, and Henry become a more central part of it.
I mean, that'd be great.
That'd be great. The whole gang back together again. Let's see. What's your experience with the fandom?
I mean, I don't really use Tumblr anymore, so I'm not on Twitter. So my experience has solely been when I would go into the tag on Tumblr, which there was a lot of shit on there, but like Tumblr's has a lot of shit. Like, you know, people being like, oh, I hate this series, or I hate this character, or the series is trash, like, because it didn't go the way I wanted it to. So, like, that's shitty, but I just don't go on Tumblr. And so, really, my experience has been nothing but positive.
Yeah, well, because I do all the Tumblring for you.
Yeah.
I post really regularly on my blog that's dedicated to the Raven Cycle, which is CC Reads Books, if you're interested. It's probably linked in the description.
When I wake up in the morning, the first thing, like the first time I go on my phone in the morning, I go and I check her blog to see what posts were like queued for one.
Yeah. Because I have a very, very full queue. It's full for like the next 2.5 weeks, and every day 5 posts go up, and she reads them like the morning paper.
Yeah, I do read them like the morning paper.
And like I've said, like I have a hard time dealing with negativity from like about the series, about stuff I'm passionate about, just because I feel like I fight hard to keep a positive state of mind. And so when I see negativity and stuff, for some reason my brain is immediately like, no, I don't want to fight with you about it, but you're wrong and I'm angry and I have to leave the situation.
I don't really want to hear bad things.
So like I recognize that maybe there are issues, but like I can't deal with them.
Every series has issues. Like I get madder when it's like people just being like, well, I just didn't like them. And I'm like, what's wrong with you?
I know, I get angry. But for the most part, I think that the fandom has died down a lot. I mean, the series has been out for over a year and kind of over with, so it's kind of dying down. But I feel like there's still people making stuff and doing art and fic and making posts.
This is like a whole other discussion, but book Tumblr's like weird.
Book Tumblr's weird, and it's also kind of fading.
Yeah.
That's been a complaint for a while.
Yeah.
That it's kind of fading away. So like as far as what I do is that I just stalk other people's blogs. If you go back through my blog, they'll be like,
it wasn't always the Raven Cycle.
No, it was not always the Raven Cycle. It used to just be generally books. But if you go back through and look at all the Raven Cycle posts, there'll be like 15 that have all been reblogged from one blog, and then 15 from another. Because I spent one night queuing stuff from someone's tag and then moving on.
She's so funny.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What else? What do you think will happen plot-wise in the Ronan trilogy?
Street racing. That's like the thing. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea what this book could be about.
No.
Street racing.
Domestic bliss?
No, it's not going to be about domestic bliss.
I'm kidding. She said, what did Maggie say? That none of the decisions made in the Ronan trilogy are like good decisions. Don't follow any of their examples.
Yeah.
It's just a series of bad decisions. I think it's going to be a
lot of Ronan being a little shit and like getting himself into trouble.
Yeah. But the reason we know street racing is because Maggie was originally writing a
street racing girl book,
and it got combined into the Ronan trilogy. And so now all we know about that is that there's a character named Hennessy.
Yeah. And that book was supposed to be like adult fiction.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting.
Yeah. Oh man, you know what I didn't talk about earlier?
What?
at some point, Maggie Stiefvater, I think for the short story, claimed that when she was on a plane, she was writing, like, a sexy Adam Ronan scene.
I think you should talk about kissing.
I know, but, like, that's enough. I forgot to bring that up earlier, and I'm a little bit of a mess over it still. Okay. Let's see. Can you take a sec to talk about how Noah announced that he was dead? And literally, yes, we can talk about that. Okay.
I mean, I feel like super blessed that I didn't know anything about the series going in. I knew very little because, like, that's one of those spoilers that you can easily, like, get spoiled for just watching YouTube or, like, you know, anywhere.
I mean, one of the main characters of the series is a ghost.
And I had no idea, so I was surprised. I didn't know that.
I was also surprised the first time I read it. I did not know. I completely forgot about this. I originally buddy read this series with Sana from Inkbones Books, whose channel has kind of gone a different direction from book-related videos, but I remember when we were buddy reading this, I remember messaging her and being like, Noah's a ghost! And we both had a moment where we had no idea. But on a reread, it makes so much sense.
Yeah, I mean, the entire series is super, like, foreshadowy.
If you reread this series, it almost becomes weird how you didn't guess Blue was a tree. Like, the thing is, the reason you don't guess she's a tree
is because why would you think that?
Why would you assume that there would be a character who's a tree? But when you reread them, you're like, oh my god.
She's such a tree!
And that's how I feel about Noah. Like, in what world would you guess that one of the main characters of the series is a ghost when you haven't established that? But then he is, and you're like, oh! Of course he's a ghost!
Oh, man. Aw, shucks.
Aw, shucks. I will say that it also means one of my other favorite things about the series is, in the first book, everyone tells Gansey everything, and he just assumes they're joking. It's like, oh man, Noah with his I've been dead for 7 years line, and everyone's like, ha, what a jokester.
Yeah.
And then when they find Ronan with the bird, then Gansey's like, where did the bird come from? And Ronan's like, from my mind. And Gansey just thinks he's being edgy and drunk, and Noah's like, chill. He doesn't need to know yet. Like, it's great. I love that. Oh my god.
That's what makes these books so good for rereading.
Yeah. Let's see. You should do a rec post of Pinch fic. I have given a list of Pinch fic that I have enjoyed to one person who directly messaged me on Twitter.
If you do that,
then I might give you them. It's just like, fan fiction feels real weird to talk about in a super public forum.
Yeah.
But I have never really been one to shy away from that more in private messaging. So follow me on Twitter.
Somebody said, I know Maggie said there'd be no relationship drama, and like I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
I was like, what if they break? So yeah, hopefully we're safe. Is there something you don't like about the books? Not really.
No. I feel like there was.
I mean, I like to know there's like some issues in them, but when it comes down to it, I like don't have. I mean, that's why I give them 5 stars. Like, I love them.
Yeah.
I love them deeply, and like when I love something that deeply, even if there was like there could be like a giant typo in like the cover, and I'd be like, it's fine.
Yeah. And I feel like, because we tend to, I mean, we do videos all the time where we're really critical of Harry Potter. Maybe upon, like, another 4 rereads.
Yeah, but also, I mean, I guess maybe if the Raven Cycle's not going to get, like, as big as Harry Potter, you know?
Yeah. But, like, you know, that's a series we love and we're really critical of it, but it's because we have such a deep understanding and knowledge of Harry Potter. So maybe discussion at some point, but also, like, it's hard to imagine that.
Give me,
where I am right now.
How old was I when I read Harry Potter? 14, 23. So give me, like, 9 years.
Yeah.
So ask me in 9 years.
Yeah. One sec. I don't want my... Okay. My mom just got home and I don't want her to walk in and start talking to me. Not that I don't love her, but not right now. So yeah, how many years?
9? So, wait, I'm 22. Oh, I'm 22.
You're 22.
And I was 14, I think, when I read Harry Potter. So 6, 8. 8 years.
8 years,
8
and we'll start
years.
being really critical of the Raven cycle.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I don't think that the Raven cycle is gonna have a spin-off movie about like the history of Henrietta.
There's gonna be a 5 movie series about Mallory in his younger years.
It is his younger years.
Getting into ley lines and that kind of, and that'll be, I'll talk about that. Let's see.
Okay, this is not about talking shit on Harry Potter.
No. Okay. I don't know. I think we should maybe start to wrap up.
Okay.
Probably. Any final things you want to talk about?
We're big trash nerds for the Raven cycle.
Yeah. And like, as much as you see me talking about it online, in videos, on Tumblr, it's still nothing compared to how often we're discussing the Raven cycle. I would say, like, there's so much time.
I'm lucky I didn't like explode in between the time it took from me finishing the series for her to finish the series, because I was just so alone for that time.
She was. It took weeks to get her to calm down and talk coherently about this series.
It did. If you've seen any of the videos from when we were in New York and I would bring up the Raven cycle and I would just like stutter and like
yeah. We you talked about them in our favorite male characters video that we did, and you're real intense.
I am.
And it's great because if we film that again now, I'd be like also, so like it's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a series
that I love.
It's a series that I love. And yes, Karen, Gansey is a dad friend,
a grandma
friend,
mom friend.
He's so motherly and
he wants
fatherly.
To take care of you.
He wants to gently rub the wrinkles from between
with the fashion of a rich, upper class middle dad.
I can't. I love him too much to even go on. Okay. We truly need to wrap up. In case you hadn't seen, one more thing, by the way, that I am wearing my Raven Cycle, The Trees Speak Latin shirt that I love. And I'm sure there will be future Raven Cycle videos. Like, it's definitely going to happen.
I'm sure.
I'm sure we're both going to reread the series next year.
Yeah.
I definitely know you are.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I am. The only thing that might keep me is it's time for me to reread Harry Potter.
I can reread both.
It's going to take up some time. But yeah, thank you so much to those of you who joined us in on talking about The Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. I hope that we did an okay job as a first live show experience. I'm feeling real tense, but I think it all worked out okay. Obviously, if you ever want to talk to me about The Raven Cycle, do that on Twitter, on Instagram. It should all be in the description below. Once we get off of being live, I will add the link to Janelle's Instagram in the description below if you want to follow her. She posts a bunch on there, and you can follow Janelle on the internet. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm glad we got to talk about The Raven Cycle. And
bye.
Bye. Let's see if we can end this thing. All right. Bye.